how are your nerves? For my listeners today, how are your nerves? And not necessarily by being maybe an agitated or a quite, anxious person. I'm talking about the autonomic nervous system. We all know about the autonomic nervous system. For those who don't, I have reams and reams of information on it on my Quora channel. I think I even did a podcast episode on the autonomic nervous system as well. But basically, the autonomic nervous system, it controls our functionings that we shouldn't really need to think about, beating our heart. We shouldn't really need to think about breathing. Yes, you can sort of manipulate these things by bringing them into conscience, but for the majority of us, these things happen automatically, which is why we say autonomic nervous system. But it branches into the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. Now, not to bore you with them too, but for me, I always sort of knew the importance of the autonomic nervous system, especially when it comes to health and disease. And however, I say with some embarrassment, like tonight, embarrassment and regret that in my previous years of study, I really only looked at this system from the physical standpoint, from the physiological standpoint, thinking really it was all to do with diet, lifestyle or activities that really left us in a state of either sympathetic or parasympathetic, or even the balanced state. You can be too sympathetic, you can be too parasympathetic, but you can also be put in the balanced state, which is where I think the majority of us really want to be. Either side of the spectrum, the sympathetic or parasympathetic, you're going to run into trouble. And it's really only recently that I've sort of discovered the importance of our emotions, and I guess your mental and even spiritual state as well. And if you've been listening to my recent podcast, you'll have heard me talk about how fear and anger raise our metabolism and put us in that sympathetic state, whereas worrying and sort of putting ourselves in that anxious state. Now remember, anxiety really comes from conditions really where people would maybe be fearful and worried, and then maybe they would also be angered and worried as well. But worrying is always a factor because there's some sort of ruminating idea, and it's a perplexing sort of problem that we can't seem to solve. But worry seems to push our metabolism towards a more parasympathetic tone, and this leads to things like depression, which is why we consider, when people are worried, they're on a downer and really depressed energy from within. And if you want to know more about how the emotions affect your physiology, I've been listening to that previous podcast I did. I think it was anxiety is a real issue. But today I want to relieve some of your stress for you. I want to give you some peace of mind and reassure you that everything you're feeling, physically, mentally, emotionally, is all natural and it's worth experiencing. And you know what else? Sometimes we can't control the negativity, the shitty ideas that seem to pop into our heads. You didn't call on the universe to plant them there, but why would you? These ideas, thoughts and images are either being presented to you or you have some perplexing issue for which you don't have the answers just quite yet. Are you fearful, angry, sad, worried, jealous, guilty? All anxiety complexes, all of which you should be aware of. And at this time, I want to assure you that you're going to get to the answers. You will get the answers. If not by yourself, then I guarantee you, people, I will do my best to help you, and that's my word. Sometimes to solve these extreme cases, we do need extreme action. And I totally get how you guys feel. I've been there. And you know what? Sometimes the ideas that come into my mind, they bring me back to the darkness. And I've just got a lot better rejecting the ideas and the thoughts, and perhaps replacing them with better ones. And the truth is, people, you never forget, and that's okay. Keep an eye out my Quora space. I assure you guys the answers are coming. And if not within the next few weeks, definitely within the next month or so. So speak soon again, and you guys keep going and stay strong.